Hey guys, and welcome back to the Deep Thoughts Podcast. We are here live and happy to be back here. I apologize for not being here on Monday like I wanted to be. Got called into work. Things happen, and I know shit happens. I probably would have said Chicago would have won that game, but not in that fashion. Just giving you all a heads up on that one. But as always, you have me as your host of the show today. I am back. No Shave November. This is about all you get from me for a month. I'm going to have to shave it tomorrow. But that being said, as always, you have my wonderful co-host here. He is back in action. Wheels.
Back after a 10-day hiatus. I hope you guys had as fun as I did on Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, I love this shirt.
And Black Friday shopping.
I love this shirt. Toy Story.
Best movie.
I love this shirt.
Best Disney.
Are you a
movie
90s
ever.
baby?
94.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Oh, it hurts so bad. So bad. My wife's older than you. That's dangerous. All right. As always, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the action today. I am so ecstatic to be back. I know all you guys who probably watch probably have never seen this much energy from me. But I'm here. And I'm ready for some football. I took essentially 4 or 5 days off football. Got back in it today. Started looking into college. Me and Ryan were talking college today. Started looking into college, having some fun there.
Speaking of college, do you see who the two top Heisman candidates are right now?
I mean, Caleb is probably up there, right? And then
he's up there, but Jane Daniels is the favorite, and my boy Bo Nix is.
Bo Nix is looking up right now. He's actually the second quarterback to be predicted to come off the board. Kudos to you at this point.
Yeah, I think Penix will be before Jane Daniels personally.
But let's get some information out there because rumor has it Marvin Harrison wants to go back to Ohio State and not come out of the draft this year.
This is no offense towards Marvin Harrison at all.
I feel bad for my wife who might have a top pick in fantasy. It's crazy.
I think the best bet for your future, NIL aside, is to declare for the draft.
But it's
because the problem is you don't know if McCord's going to be there next year, and McCord and Marvin Harrison went to the same high school. And they got recruited together.
I think Kyle McCord will be there. Why wouldn't he be there? I don't think he's going to transfer.
We'll get into that, but I think Harrison would be stupid not to come out. I think he is the he is the best wide receiver, and the kid from LSU is the second.
He's
best.
the highest touted non-quarterback coming out of college.
He's a top 3 pick. Let's be honest.
Correct. But here's the thing: it's for him. It wasn't about money. It's about the competition. It's about going against Michigan. He wants to beat Michigan, and.
So I
don't knock the guy for wanting to beat Michigan.
No, I don't.
If they get put in the Final Four, they still have that potential to beat Michigan.
Yeah, but the thing is what do we always talk about with the NFL? Injuries, right? Injuries.
Yeah, and you have
everything.
that risk of injury in college.
God forbid he tears an ACL, pops an Achilles.
I don't think Marvin Harrison's that stupid. I don't think he's that stupid. I think he understands that is a risk of staying in college. But here's the thing. And say what you will, right? Say what you will. It might be about the money for a lot of people. Maybe Marvin Harrison is just about beating Michigan.
Oh.
Maybe he really he thought his entire time in college that he was going to be able to beat Michigan, and he's incapable of beating Michigan, and he's not a fan of it.
Yeah, let's be honest. Marvin Harrison doesn't need the money. His father is very wealthy for the time he played in the NFL.
And he's going to have a huge name to live up to. Huge name to live up to, and that could be an issue.
It could also be a thing of maybe he doesn't like some of the teams that are in the top 3 to top 5 that are drafting right now.
It could also be a thing, too. And I looked at that, too. And I'm going to be honest. I don't want to go to Carolina. I don't want to go to Chicago. I really don't want to go to Arizona, and that's race projected. I don't know if I want to go to New England. I don't, because wide receivers do not thrive in that system unless they've had a great quarterback of all time. So, and they have Kendrick Bourne, who's going to be a free agent. So I don't know if I want to be in that system. I mean, the Giants, do you really want to go to the Giants? They literally only murder receivers on the Giants.
Washington loves Ohio State players or Ohio State wide receivers. Curtis Samuel they traded for, or they signed him. They drafted Terry McLaurin. I could definitely see him going there.
Yeah, but Washington's a middle of the pack team. You're not going to drop that far.
The thing with Washington is they need offensive line. But so another guy that I would like to see stay in the college is Caleb Williams. because I think his
Caleb Williams his value is the highest it's ever been.
No, it's
right
not.
Here.
Last year
it
was. Last year was.
Well,
yeah, obviously he couldn't declare last year.
Yeah, he couldn't come out last year.
Caleb Williams is now my third or fourth.
I don't think it's a Kenny Pickett situation where Caleb stays, he becomes the highest touted again.
No, but
I think only staying in hurts him longer, especially when you got the people that are going in the transfer portal, like the kid out of Duke. He's going into the transfer portal. He could be the best quarterback out of this out of the next draft class.
Speaking of some kids that are transferring, the kid from Utah State is actually getting out of the NCAA and going into the Navy.
Okay,
SEALs.
he was going to the Navy. Yeah, he's going to the Navy. He might still play football, but he's going to train for his Navy SEALs.
But
is what he said.
My biggest thing with Caleb Williams.
And kudos to him, right?
Yeah,
kudos to
100%.
him finding that out on November 30th. Support the troop months. Kudos to him. I think that's the greatest thing that any man could do is serve his country.
Yeah, so. I can't be a Navy SEAL, I'll be honest. But going back to Caleb Williams,
I want to see
it. He's loud. I don't like loud quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield in recent history. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
both were very loud, and you see where they ended up. Obviously, Caleb Williams has much more talent.
Don't make me defend Caleb Williams because I am.
I was high on Caleb Williams last year.
So continue to be high on him. I
don't want to. No, I pulled back on him. I don't. Bo Nix, I said it's Caleb and Bo Nix are my 1 and 2 going into last year. He has fallen off. Now it's Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and Jaden Daniels are my top 3. And obviously Drake May's in there, but Caleb Williams has fallen. He talks a lot. He has yet to win a big game. I think
you should still be high on him for the reasons that you should have been high on him. It is his talent. My issue is how he carries himself. Let me worry about that personality thing, because I think the personality factor is something that I dive in on people. It's not always true. And sometimes you need a big head.
No, but if you don't talk to the media after a game, how do you expect to go to the Giants, or how do you expect to go to the Jets? You're not going to be good in a big city if you can't talk to USC reporters.
And that's a great point.
That is not a good look for your draft.
But are you going to be good in Chicago? Because Chicago doesn't have a big media city, I don't think.
Quarterback is not the issue in Chicago.
I would also agree with that. It's offensive line.
Justin Fields is good. It's offensive line and coaching. Yep. Let's be honest. Matt Eberflus should not be a head coach.
Speaking of coaching, that's a great transition.
Right.
This is not going to happen, but apparently Harbaugh
is going to the Chargers.
Is connected with the front office of Chicago.
If I said this a couple weeks back,
I don't think he's leaving.
If Jim Harbaugh is suspended from Michigan for a year or more, he will leave Michigan. They'll separate. Fine. He is going to go to the Chargers after Brandon Staley is fired this year.
All right. That's a great other transition.
I love that.
Who just got fired? Frank Reich.
Frank Reich. That was
Frank Reich got fired, and we knew that when C.J. Stroud got drafted.
You want to dive into that a little bit?
What?
The Frank Reich hiring. I don't understand Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers. He is turning slowly. David Tepper is slowly turning the Carolina Panthers into just a dysfunctional, just being of football. He is turning it into just a horrible place for fans to sit there and watch and waste their money, because obviously we don't know what's going on with Bryce Young yet. I'm not ready to say he's a bust. I'm not ready to say he's
What
not.
about their colors?
Blue and black.
I like the colors. Can I root for the colors?
You can root for the colors. It's like a woman. But my biggest issue is you fire Frank Reich after 11 games.
Reich.
You take away Bryce Young's most prominent weapons with it, which is DJ Moore, and you traded away Christian McCaffrey.
Could you imagine?
I would have traded away Brian Burns.
Could you imagine if he had Adam Thielen and DJ Moore?
Yeah, he would be good.
Oh,
and then it's the same situation. As much as I love CJ Stroud, you put CJ Stroud on the Panthers, he's nowhere near what he is now. Let's be honest. He isn't. CJ Stroud is a great talent. I had him touted as a number one prospect.
I completely disagree with you on that one.
I don't think he's as good as he is. I don't think he's as good as he is right now.
Disagree. Completely disagree. God. You're going with Nico Collins. Could you look what Thielen's doing?
Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
But look what Thielen's doing with
Noah Brown
with Bryce Young. Right? Look what Thielen's doing. And Thielen is not anything like...
Thielen's like...
He's the best
old.
number 2 receiver in the league.
He's like 32.
But he's the best number 2 in the receiver in the league. Thielen is not a number 1.
No.
Okay,
No.
He's arguably the best number 2 receiver in the league. At 33, it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is if you had C.J. Stroud, who's got pinpoint accuracy,
Which Bryce Young doesn't have,
phenomenal,
which we said, yes.
phenomenal pocket presence, right? And you give him a run game? He doesn't have a run game right now in Houston.
No. Singletary has stepped up a little bit, but other than that, no.
My
he doesn't
only
have a run game.
argument that C.J. Stroud might regress a little bit is coaching.
Yeah. With
But I don't... D'Amico's a defensive mind, not an offensive mind.
No, D'Amico, but that's the thing. We love the D'Amico Ryan hiring. I think this is a bad... So personally, I think if you looked at the Josh McCown talking to C.J. Stroud, they were very interested in him prior to the draft. And they said, hey, we would love to have you in Carolina. And all of a sudden, they draft Bryce Young. So I don't know if that
You see the Raiders were going at him too? But they chose to start Jimmy Garoppolo over drafting C.J. Stroud?
That's the Raiders for you.
Could you imagine if he was the Raiders with
That's
Devontae
what happens
Adams?
when you have
Could
a
you
bull-
imagine if he went to the Raiders with Devontae Adams?
That's what happens when you have a bull cut in the year 2020.
I would love to see Devontae Adams with C.J. Stroud. I would love to see a top 5 wide receiver with C.J. Stroud right now.
I mean, Tank Dell is getting there. And Ryan called that. Ryan called it Tank Dell. He is fastly approaching
I am rooting.
top 10
I am currently rooting
or
for
top 10
wide receivers out of this draft. McConkey.
Who?
Lad McConkey out of Georgia. Currently rooting for that wide receiver out of this draft. And Ryan goes, you're racist. I was like, yes. He is the
He's
only
white.
white wide receiver coming into the draft.
He has a white last name. So.
And you know what, though? Lad McConkey actually looks really good in Georgia. It's kind of funny, but I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy I want to see come out of this draft.
Going back to Carolina with David Tepper, I think David Tepper's calling the shots for the draft. I don't think the GM is. And my biggest thing with that is I know the owners are, they're forking the money over. They're the reason the team's there, but at some point...
Forking is an understatement. They're shoveling.
Yeah, you're shoveling the coal or money. But at some point, you have to take a step back and let the people you hire do it.
Are they the old Browns? Are they the old Browns who just continuously paying old coaches?
Yeah. But let's say it's like any company. Micromanaging doesn't work. When micromanaging happens, it falls through the cracks from the top down, and everybody gets angry, and everybody's on each other's throats.
Case
and
point,
having that.
Jerry Jones.
Exactly. We'll have the downfall of Dallas soon enough. We're in the cycle.
Here's the thing. Jerry Jones has not won anything because he feels like he needs input in every level of the team. And Dak's not that guy. And Dak, don't get me wrong.
Dak has played great.
Dak has had phenomenal years. And he went through this, and I don't know if it's the family thing, because didn't he lose his brother?
Yeah, he lost his brother.
Yeah, so I don't know if the family thing was the regression, if there was a lot going on at home. And then now you got people saying, Dak can't have a family. That's going to regress him also. I think that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
I mean, look at Phillip Rivers. He has like 30 kids.
Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady had 2 kids.
And he was...
How many rings? Okay, shut the fuck up on this shit.
That's the thing, though. It's just...
You're allowed to have a family as a football player.
Yeah.
You just have to understand that your family needs to understand that you're going to be gone 9 months out of the year. And then you go spend all the time in the world with them. That's what you do.
But that's why you get paid what you get paid.
And your family's happy and healthy. I just hope to God the woman's loyal. That's all I can say. Because that's a lot to ask out of a woman. But chances are she's probably going to not get any better. Because you are a millionaire. Like, there's not many of those around the corner. I mean, there's a lot of those, but there's not many at that level. So, I mean, that's all I would say in that situation. But I think if anything, Dak, that brings new light into Dak's life, having a kid and being a father. And I think that gives you something to strive for. This is what I give for my kid, right? I have a legacy to lay down for my kid.
Dak is in the group of he is very good, but he's not generational.
He's Kirk Cousins.
Cousins.
He's Kirk Cousins. He has that potential. He has that potential to be the best thing you've ever seen.
Yeah,
but he also has a floor to be the worst thing you've ever seen.
So it's exactly Dak, Kirk, and Jared Goff can all win you games, but they can all throw 3 or 4 interceptions to lose you games.
Yeah,
and you see it. It's just you live by the high points, you you die by the low points. It's just how you go with some of these quarterbacks.
And if you guys are wondering how we got to Dallas, it's because we were talking about micromanaging, and we started with Carolina, and we started with C.J. Stroud, and we started with college. We started with college. These are the greatest transitions in the world because now that we're in Dallas, right?
We can talk Thursday night.
We can talk Thursday night football. And we got Geno Smith dealing with injury going into Dallas. Geno Smith also has no Kenneth Walker. They need to do something about that offensive game. I'll get to you in a second because I know you want to ramble through it. We need to talk about Geno Smith's offense being able to be productive against one of the best takeaway defenses in the league. Other questions I would throw out there to you guys. Tony Pollard against this stacked defensive line on Seattle. Seattle's defense is not playing up to par to what the talent is on that team.
No, and they actually pulled Tariq Woolen last week.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's not up to par to Tariq Woolen was running for rookie defensive player of the year last year.
Yeah, last year.
Right?
You're correct. Yes,
and you got Christian Gonzalez, right? Or
no, not
Devin
Witherspoon.
Devin Witherspoon
this year.
Who's also been a stud playing on that team this year. And then they go and they sign some defensive ends and stuff like that. So they've actually had a very good team. It just hasn't produced.
Where they're hurting, it's kind of like the Browns last year, linebacking. Linebacking is hurting them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then when you go into Dallas, right, Dallas has that potential to take away the ball.
They lost the linebacker. Van Der Esch is done for the year, possibly his career, neck injury.
But I think that doesn't hurt as much because me and you, and I think a few other people, we love that re-signing, but we also knew the age of Van Der Esch, and it was probably going to take a toll on that defense eventually.
He was a C+, B- top end linebacker.
Yeah, but he definitely was productive when he was on the field.
Yes.
But Micah being in there, Micah's getting double and triple teamed at one of the highest rates in the NFL
but he's
right
all
now.
over the ball. Anywhere the ball is, at least, other than secondary, he's there.
Right, and I agree with that. And what I like about this Dallas at home, right, they score more points at home. They're a phenomenal team at home. I know you'll probably get into that stat here in a minute. But when we talk about Dallas, I want to see Deron Bland do what Deron Bland does today. Because I'll tell you right now, Geno Smith, even losing Van Der Esch, is going to be under a lot of pressure, and he has to make the right plays. And if you look what he did in Cleveland when he was under a lot of pressure, he made mistakes at key moments. They won the game, but he made mistakes at key moments. I don't think you can do that against this Dallas defense. No. So I think I'll let you take it away from there. Dallas is favored by 9.5 at home.
Which
and the over-under is 47.5. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Dallas is 5-0 at home. So obviously they're 3-3 on the road, which is not awful, but not great. So when we talk about Dallas, both these teams, Dallas and Seattle, has played 11 games. Kenneth Walker, you said, is out, so that obviously hurts the running game for Seattle. But Dallas's offense is ranked 5th overall in the NFL. They are producing 377 yards a game.
Damn.
262 passing yards, 115 rushing yards, and scoring 31.5 points per game.
And I know you don't know this stat, but what's the chance you looked up what Dallas's passing yards have been in the last 5 games?
I'm guessing they're probably about 350.
So their average yards per game are where they are because of skewed because of recent production from Dak.
And 2 Giants games. You've played 2 Giants games.
Okay.
In 3 weeks. So yeah.
And Washington.
So and then you go on the Seattle
and
side.
And the Patriots. Let's not hold
like
on.
I said,
let's not go too crazy with the way Dallas's offense has been in the last 3 weeks because they have not played good teams.
Where I said we're in the circle for Dallas.
Go ahead. I apologize.
And then we go to Seattle's offense, which is average at best. They are 21st overall offensively ranked in the NFL. They are having a total of 317 yards per game. 221 of those are passing. Just about 96 are rushing, and they're scoring 20.8 points per game, so 21.
Wow, they're averaging less per game than the Cleveland Browns.
That line is pretty much dead center of what it should be, right? The 9.5.
In the points per game. Yeah.
And then defensively is where these teams are just another different world. 3rd ranked defense for Dallas, allowing 276 total yards per game. 167 of those are passing. 109 of those are rushing. They're allowing about 17 points per game. Seattle, 23rd overall ranked. allowing 348.5 yards per game. 230 of those are passing, and 117 is rushing, and scoring or allowing 22.6 points per game. So again, you have about a 6 to a 7 point difference. So when you add those together, the line, it makes sense.
Well, Dallas and Dallas is also fourth in sacks per game. So
Fourth
they're
in sacks
getting to the
and
quarterback,
third in turnovers.
and they're
Fifth in turnovers.
and they're third in third down conversions on the defense. So that means they don't allow third down conversions, but 1 out of 3 times.
Yep.
So
They're up there with the Browns defense, and then the turnovers, they're +7, 17 takes. To 10
so
gives.
it's kind of crazy, right? Because the Browns are having a historic defensive year. Dallas is right there with the Browns in a historic defensive year. When you look at the takeaways, obviously they've already broken one record this year in pick sixes for one player. So Deron Bland owns that. He's got 5 touchdowns or 5 pick sixes in a single season,
which is insane.
I don't see that stopping right now. I'm looking at 7.
I have 8.
I'm looking at 7.
I have 1 tonight, and I have obviously 2 more. But he's at what, 6?
He's at 5.
Okay, so
5 is. I think 5 is the record. I think 4 was tied, if I remember correctly. I don't get me wrong.
That's where their takeaway. That's where the turnover game is. You got to think they're. I didn't look up how much their defense is scoring. That I believe that is a stat, but their defense is, I'm guessing, scoring about a touchdown, or let's say 3 points a game, because you're giving 5 pick sixes.
I mean, if you go look at my fantasy, they're number 1 in fantasy points.
And then Seattle's defense is or turnovers, they're +2, so they're barely breaking even, and that's the issue. Is Dallas is producing on those turnovers, whereas Seattle's not. And you can see that on offense. They're struggling. And you're going into Dallas tonight, Thursday Night Football. Geno's still questionable. You're without your top running back, but you still have Charbonnet, who is a above average as of right now rookie, who I like. That's a tall task for a hurt Geno to overcome. And I think Dak is going to struggle a little bit on offense. I do think he throws 1 pick. I think this is going to be a closer game than people realize.
I think Seattle's kept every game.
Yeah, I'm
close.
taking Dallas plus. I'll take Dallas to win by a touchdown. I'm not touching the points. You take them straight. Do not take the points unless you're obviously Seattle. I would take Seattle in the points, but do not take the spread for Dallas. That's just my opinion. I think anytime touchdown score is.
They do have Dallas. Dallas does have a tough end of season schedule. They've got
that's what I'm saying. The downfall is coming.
They've got the 7th hardest strength of schedule coming up.
But it's the last 4 weeks.
No, it starts today. It starts today. Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, and they end the season with Washington, which is going to be a tough game because it's an in-division game.
They're going to lose 4 of those games.
They might.
I said that the downfall is coming, and that's no hate towards Dallas, but the thing
that's
is,
a tough schedule.
If you looked at their schedule, they've I don't want to say they've had cupcakes, but they've had an easier schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the Patriots. It was Carolina. Let me pull that back.
But you played the Giants a week apart. So I think Giants, Washington, Giants.
No. You played after the bye, you went to the Rams, and that's a tough game technically. But I think Matt Stafford was out that week.
Yeah, it was. What was his name?
I don't remember who the backup was at that time.
Either, so
then you played Philly, and you lost to Philly by 6. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up. Giddy up.
He's making dad jokes. Keep going.
Keep it up, Aaron. And then you played like you said, the Giants, and then you played Carolina, and you played Washington. And your differential has been phenomenal, right? Like, they've covered every game. They've been favored by 12 to 14 plus in every game. They've covered every game.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah. They've scored 89 points in the 2 Giants games.
Let's be honest, right? So, like, before the bye, we're not going to talk about Dallas.
No. And I'm not trying to hate on them, but my biggest issue is, who have they played?
They're the one team in the league that hasn't beaten over 500 team. This is their test tonight, right?
Because
I think the Seattle's 6-5 over 500. So this is their test tonight, is to beat an over 500 team. I think, like I agree with you on the 9, right?
I think they only beat the Commanders and Seahawks tonight. And I don't know. It could be closer. I really want to take Seattle, but with Walker being out, it hurts. I really want to take Seattle.
Here's the thing. It's not the 49ers, okay? They're not that good up front. They're good at getting to the passer. They're not that good against the run.
Can take care of the ball.
I'll take Charbonnet on a breakout day.
Yeah, but the thing is what needs to happen is they need to go up by 10 and they need to feed the ball.
Aaron, I'm watching you. I am watching every bit of what you're doing, Aaron.
They need to do what obviously the Browns do. You get up by 10, you run the ball.
Here's the thing.
Take care of the rock.
Again, here's what I'm going to say this 100%.
I know that's a stupid thing to say. We always say it, but that's how you're going to have to beat Dallas. Because obviously when you're throwing against Dallas,
time of possession,
you're going up against their
I have a question for you, and this might be a crazy question. And Aaron, since you're in the chat, I have a question for you too. Who's the better quarterback in tonight's game? Is it Geno Smith or Dak Prescott? Because they both have very talented wide receiver cores. They both have decent offensive lines.
I want this year all time. I'm going to have to take Dak, though. Yeah, Dak.
My wife
Don't get distracted.
What starts with an F and ends with a K. I said, no, it doesn't. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry.
I'm taking Dak. Over
Every
Geno.
dad joke's going to go over my head. You take Dak over Geno, hmm?
Yeah. Geno has had one good year. Dak has had like 3.
Okay, I was just making sure that that's where I thought the joke was going. That's where I thought the joke was going. I just want to make sure that there wasn't some unknown message here.
You got ADHD.
I don't know. I'm trying to engage with the chat, who's a bunch of a-holes who tried to distract me. Thank you, Aaron.
I'm taking Dak. Dak.
So how about props tonight? What are we looking at tonight? The reason why I asked that, because I easily can see both these guys going for over 250 yards passing.
I think both of them throw an interception. I think they both throw a touchdown. I have Tony Pollard having like 72 total yards.
That's all purpose.
All purpose, 32.
What about Rico today? Can Rico get a touchdown?
I think Rico. He vultures the touchdown.
I'm kind of getting into the Rico Suave kind of feel when I watch him. When I watch this kid, I'm enjoying it. I think it's what's been missing on this team when it comes to the run game is
the thing
Rico.
is Tony Pollard's not a number 1 running back.
No. I've been saying this since everybody's like, oh, you need to draft him in the top 5. He's that good. He's that good. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a downhill back.
He's like 11th in fantasy, but fantasy is the problem is fantasy people judge.
You think Schoonmaker steals the touchdown? I wouldn't disagree.
Schoonmaker.
I wouldn't disagree, but is Ferguson back?
Well, who are you putting on? If I'm Seattle, who am I putting on? CD. I'm putting Devin Witherspoon, the rookie. I think he's better man coverage.
If I'm Seattle, I don't put anybody on CD. I play kind of a zone coverage, safety over top.
Well, Jamal.
Who else is going to beat you?
Adams is going to.
Is Michael Gallup going to beat you?
No. Brandon Cooks might.
Brandon Cooks might.
Brandon Cooks has been heating up.
Brandon Cooks is getting
Jake Ferguson.
I wouldn't say heating up. He's been getting the touchdowns.
He's warm.
But I would say Dak's been playing better. So like Dak's seeing that open now.
Yeah, but he's playing a true defense. Not a true, but a better.
He's playing a better defense than what he has played. I would argue that Washington's defense is not anything to kind of frown upon.
No, you missed a swear word.
No
word.
And the Giants' defense has been playing better ever since Dallas. So it's hard to say.
Who are you taking tonight?
So earlier I talked to Ryan and I
really want to take Seattle, but it's hard.
Earlier I said I would take Dallas. Okay, like I think Dallas is the better team all around. I think Seattle with Kenneth Walker out is missing a big aspect of the game, like Charbonnet, but he's not Kenneth Walker. For all you people that are stupid and thought Charbonnet was going to take over that backfield, you're learning something right now. Charbonnet's not that guy. No, Charbonnet is a very good out of the slot or a good guy who can run outside the box. Kenneth Walker runs between tackles very well.
If you watch the way they use Kenneth Walker, he is a downhill force, right?
Aaron, it's funny. We're getting there. But here's what I will tell you. He's right on the Thursday thing. Like, Thursday games historically have been low scoring.
It's gonna be closer than what people think. So I really want to take Seattle.
Okay, so here's the thing. I agree with you. I would take Seattle with the points because I feel like it's very hard to beat Seattle by 9.5.
By a point if you're going to take Seattle. Get it at 10.5. Buy that extra point.
I agree with that. I don't know where you can do that, illegal gambler.
It's not.
But
you can take. You can take.
Find me that betting app because I have not found it yet.
It's just. You could buy a point, and it's in teases, but you can actually.
Now he's teasing me. Do you hear this?
You tease. What you do is you take like 3
There's
or 4
no tease button on my phone. You're on the wrong website if you see a tease button.
Be log in to Bet365, the app that we use exclusively on Deep Threats.
Nope, don't use it.
Bet365 sponsor me.
I'm not advertising it, but apparently I have to go to Bet365 to tease myself.
I've spent enough money on your website.
So here's what I will say.
Okay.
I will confidently take Dallas, and it's going to be 35-31. That one's for you, Aaron, because I definitely think this is going to be an over in this game because I think both teams are capable of slinging it. Seattle has been purposely capable of putting up points at will, except for against one defense.
Right here, buddy.
Against one defense, and that was against the Ravens.
Teaser cards.
He's such a dick.
Teaser cards. Plus 13.
Yeah, because when
obviously it changes the odds quite a bit when you buy points, but
yeah, because you favor yourself when you buy points.
Yeah.
Duh. Who wouldn't have thought that?
You can take different lines though. You just go into props, and you can take Seattle right there.
They can't see that.
10.5. It's you take Seattle at getting 10.5. It's minus $138. So that's good. That's not bad. I would take it. Now, if you take a minus 10.5, it's plus 15.
This one's for you, Aaron. Seattle, they lost to the Rams early in the year with Aaron Donald healthy, and that team was healthy. Then they beat Detroit 37-31. That's a good defense,
Seattle
right?
scored 17 tonight, Aaron.
Then in Carolina, right? They beat Carolina 37-27. Obviously, they beat the Giants 24. They didn't have to do anything but run the ball. Week 5 bye. Then they played Cincy. That was a struggle. They lost to Cincy. That was a weird one. Then they played Arizona. They beat them 20-10. Beat the Browns 24-20. This is where they looked horrible. They scored 3 points against the Ravens. That was horrendous. Then they played Washington, won 29-26. Played the Rams, lost to them. You know what? I agree. Against good defenses, they're struggling putting up points. It's a very good observation. I'm going to give them 21. I'll give them 21. I'll say 21. Wow, that has me covering if I go 35.
17.
If I go 35-21.
Seattle scores 17. Dallas won by touchdown 24-17.
I'm thinking more like 13-6. That's a tough one. They're both
Amazon is like watching paint dry, so you're not wrong at times.
When I ask you who's the better quarterback, 13-6 really hands it to Dak, huh?
Those extra 7 points.
Wait a minute. Didn't you give Didn't you give 2 touchdowns to Dallas?
They missed the extra points.
Yeah. You gave 2 touchdowns. Oh, it's disgusting.
Or they missed 1 extra point. Sorry, I can't do math.
Yeah. Well, they don't have Maher there anymore, so.
They have Jake Ferguson
as their kicker. Maher.
Oh, Brett Maher? No, he
Maher.
sucks. That's what happens when you miss like 6.
He might be with the CFL now.
If he's lucky.
I didn't specify more. Oh, it's true. That's true. You did not. You just said 2 people would get a touchdown. So you technically didn't specify who would get the touchdown either. Are they both holding the ball at the same time? Is that a half a touchdown?
Is that a half a touchdown?
Didn't we see that in one game? Didn't we see both players get the reception in one game and they didn't know who to give it to?
Yeah, it happened in Ohio State game.
No. I'm talking NFL. I want to say it was Seattle. I want to say it was like...
There might have been.
Like Tyler Lockett and somebody else caught a ball. You're right. You did. Don't go back and check me. How dare you? All right, so In other news today, I have CD prop bet. I would say CD goes for over 50 and a touchdown today, just to argue with Aaron. Actually, CD has scored either a touchdown or gone for over 100 yards in the last 5 games, which is pretty damn impressive. But a lot of that's based on the production of Dak. Stardoms for me today would be obviously Dak at this point. He is now a starting quarterback consistently. CD, starter. I think you have to start Tony Pollard with the bye weeks that are in play. There's a lot of bye weeks out there, and you're murdered at running back, especially because you've lost Jonathan Taylor this week. You've lost Kenneth Walker this week. Now you've lost all 3 running backs on the Ravens. You've lost James Cook. You've lost the entire Bears backfield because none of them are productive. You lost Josh Jacobs. You lost Alexander Madison, and you lost Saquon Barkley this week. So you lost a bunch of running backs this week. So I think you have to start Tony Pollard. I think you could possibly flex Rico Dowdle at this point. I know he's only projected 3 points, but if Dallas does go up by a big score, Tony gets pulled, Dowdle goes in. It's more productive. I think you have to start Charbonnet. I think also they're going to look at their tight ends in this league in Seattle, and they might. What's the tight end in Seattle who they traded for?
Noah Fant.
Noah Fant. I can see more Noah
Sorry, I'm making bets.
I can see more Noah Fant in this game. I'm struggling myself starting DK Metcalf, but I have a lot of receivers. And then I would say that JSN might be a good start when it comes to PPR because they've been looking more his way on the quick slants, and they're trying to get the ball out of Geno Smith's hands faster. And I think you're going to have to tonight if you want to win this game because Micah's going to be in his face. So I think you're going to have to check down to JSN or your tight ends more in this game. I see a lot of Charbonnet in the reception. So PPR-wise, both these guys will be very productive.
3 sacks by
I definitely don't see 3 sacks by Micah because Geno is very slippery.
Minka.
Geno is very slippery. Like if you look, I get he's hurt, but he's still slippery and he's not stupid enough that he wouldn't throw the ball away a lot of times. So it's hard to get 3 sacks on a guy like that. Getting out of this game because I know that somebody really wants to talk about the news.
Let's just run through this news real quick. We'll end.
Give me what's up to date in the news. Give me time to react to it because I know you've been paying more closer attention.
Von Miller has a warrant out for his arrest after a domestic violence incident.
Von Miller is done with football after this situation.
Yep, with his pregnant girlfriend. Fuck you. Next, the NFL has flexed the Eagles-Seahawks game for December 18th to 8:15 p.m., flexing it with the KC New England, or replacing it.
So the first flex game that's been adjusted this year is what you were trying to say.
Yeah, so they
is the Monday Night Football game with Kansas City
and New England.
They and the New York Giants.
Eagles and Seattle.
Oh yeah, it was New England. And they flexed it with Philly and Seattle, which definitely will be a better game.
Yes, and then
than KC versus the Patriots.
And then Zach Ertz has been waived per request. Or I should say released per request.
I just now realized where Zach Ertz was going.
Baltimore.
No, it's going to Philly.
Back home.
Dallas got her out.
Yeah,
broken arm.
Right, yeah.
Zach Ertz going to Philly.
And Baltimore are the top 2 right now.
Zach Ertz going. No, Philly's missing. Philly has not had any tight end production since Goddard's been out.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And then JJ has been JJ has been cleared to return to practice and football activities off the IR, along with him returning to practice and opening the 21-day window to be taken off the IR is no other than the Hat Man champion himself, Aaron Rodgers.
The Hat Man.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
So don't take this the wrong way, Aaron, but you cannot make the playoffs. And if Aaron Rodgers goes back out there with a half-healed Achilles and hurts again, then you're really screwed for the next 2 years, and you better take a quarterback this year. But I think you're going to take a quarterback this year regardless, Aaron, because you still have your first-round draft pick. That was a great trade you made with the Packers, and if he doesn't play more than 60% snaps, it's only a second. How dare I? The truth hurts, my friend. That's why you come here.
So why can't they make the playoffs?
I don't see what the way it... even with Aaron Rodgers, that offensive line is so bad, I don't see them competing.
Don't the Jets play the Steelers and the Browns still?
Yes. They'll beat the Steelers, but not the Browns.
I'm just saying.
We could roll you out there, and I think we beat the Jets.
I'm just saying. Don't they play those 2 teams still? Here, let's look at this. Okay, so ending the season. No, they do not. They already lost to the Steelers. I lied.
Yeah, they play the Falcons.
Oh, they
this
don't
week.
play the Steelers this year. Oh, them lucky bastards.
They play the Falcons. They play the Texans. They play the Dolphins.
Well,
they
here's
play
the thing, right?
Commanders. They play the Browns and the Patriots.
So outside of
So 3 wins.
the 2 wins that they have to have for Rodgers to come back is this week and next week. Yeah. And I would argue that if you're going to start Rodgers, you start him against Miami against that horrible pass rush.
And with
And it's in warm weather because it's in Miami.
who just went down for Miami and tore his Achilles?
Their corner.
No, not their corner. It was their end.
Tore his Achilles?
Yeah, he popped it. I watched it.
I watched it live.
I did. It was bad.
Aaron Rodgers will be around for 5 more years. It depends on the supplements he's taking. I mean, you don't just blow an Achilles when nobody really... I mean, he, a little bit leaned on him? It was bad, man. And he ruptured it. Now, he looks great. He's able to press off it, but let's be honest with jerk reactions and Achilles. I've had an Achilles partial tear. It's fine, but when is most prominent football played, and where is it played, and where did you sign?
Phillips, linebacker. So.
You sign. Oh, I forgot about Jalen Phillips. That's right. And you signed in a cold weather city. Like, Achilles ain't gonna feel good in that cold weather.
Aaron Rodgers will be around for maybe 2.
I'll give him 3. Right? Because I think what he did is he extended his contract. He's 2 years, and then I think what he's gonna do, he's gonna take a single-year deal for the following year, and then we'll see what happens. And it all depends on where the Jets lie with quarterback, right?
They need offensive line help bad.
Oh, and that's why I think they will be a top team for O-line next year. Like, they will be looking for the best left tackle they can find, or they'll be looking.
I mean, Aaron and us, and we all agreed that they should have taken O-line this year, and they didn't.
Could you imagine if they had Paris Johnson this year?
Or DeJuan Jones?
Oh my God! In the 6th round, you could have had DeJuan Jones.
Or you draft Andrew Voorhees,
You
who's
could
on
have
the IR.
You could have Luke Whippler and DeJuan
Andrew
Jones.
Voorhees was drafted in the 7th round by Baltimore, and he was on the IR. You could have had him and come back.
Yeah, that's
in the following year.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
It's nothing against you, Aaron. The Jets organization reminds me of the Browns. They just make some head-scratching moves at times.
Here's the 2 things that I'm not a fan of with the Jets right now. Okay, 1, Salah's getting a lot of harassment,
Which I don't understand.
He's dealing with one of the. Now, I agree. You should have pulled out Zach Wilson. You should not have started Zach Wilson. You probably should have went and got Flacco back. You should have never given up on Daddy White. Like, there's some guys here that I would have not have gotten rid of.
Trey Lance, I would have traded for possibly if you could have.
When you found out what Zach Wilson was last year, boom, gone. I wouldn't even have tried this year. I agree that everybody on the team loves him. I get that.
I wouldn't have got rid of Darnold. Would you have gotten rid of Darnold, Aaron?
Darnold sees ghosts. I'd prefer Daddy White.
I'll take Aaron Darnold.
I would have went for Minshew.
Sam Darnold.
I would have went for Minshew.
I would, yeah, but I would take Sam Darnold over Zach Wilson.
Wheels, I owe you like 15 slaps now. Just 15? I've seen him once in 10 days, and I've wanted to punch him 3 times. You want 15? Wait your turn, Aaron. But here's the thing. Like, Aaron Rodgers, I've seen some clips out there, right? Like, Aaron's selfish. He shouldn't be coming back. He's done nothing but hurt this team. That's false. Aaron knows that if he comes back early and if he comes back as healthy as he can be, that's the best thing for the team.
Yeah, but my issue is him. I have him as a like 60 to 80% chance of re-injuring himself before the end of the year. Not popping his Achilles, but obviously.
Let's be honest, though. It's not going to happen before 12-17.
Because so different sport. Kevin Durant, he came back very early from an Achilles injury. He popped it again. Was out like a full year.
Arian Foster.
Cam Akers, another guy who,
but these aren't quarterbacks. These aren't quarterbacks.
No, but I get that. But with my issue is I understand what you're saying.
But quarterback is the most protected position in the league.
Not at the Jets. Their offensive line is god awful.
It is by the refs.
It's
right.
bad.
It is by the refs. Okay.
That offensive line is like 33rd. And there's only 32 teams.
Aaron, I agree with you. Darnold, I would have gotten rid of Darnold. I don't disagree. The dude has been seeing ghosts ever since his first injury.
Zach Wilson's a bum.
So, and to be honest, they still didn't trust him in the 49ers.
Go hang out with Corey Perry and Big Moms.
Hey, he wasn't even that attractive. Like, the dude wasn't even that cut. It just looked like an average 20-year-old that played Zach Wilson. Like, he didn't even look that attractive. Like, come on.
So aggressive.
Come on, bro.
So aggressive.
Hey, you know why Wheels is aggressive? Because he's a Buffalo fan. and he has to deal with Josh Allen, who turns the ball over 17
What did I
times.
say? No, I said Buffalo was going to finish third this year in the AFC East. I did say that. I said Josh Allen would regress.
I don't have those. I'm going to bring those up next week because we have our original rankings of AFC, NFC.
I would love to see where we're
I'm gonna
at.
bring those up next week.
accurate we
I want to
were.
bring those up next week, and we'll get into that. Actually, might even bring it up this Sunday because I think it might be fun where original rankings are and where the current rankings stand.
Well, I think I'm about right with the AFC East.
I'm like 90% right with the AFC North. I said the Ravens would probably be in first, the Browns in second, but I had the Browns in first, Ravens in second, and I had the Steelers in fourth. But I couldn't predict the Joe Burrow injury. Like, I can't predict the Joe Burrow injury. And to be
Cousins
honest,
injury that hurt you with the Vikings.
oh my God, Josh Dobbs looked horrible against
He
Chicago.
got exposed.
Horrible against
He got
Chicago.
exposed. And I hate to say it, I like Josh Dobbs. I like the story, you know.
He looked
he's-
horrible against Chicago.
just-
That's not even a good defense.
No, it's not.
12 to 10? 12 to 10.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Let's go on the other side of that. Chicago should have won by like 30. That's where Eberflus is just. I understand everybody wants to hate on Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is not the problem. It's your coaching.
Eberflus was
is a
garbage.
bum.
I love talking to Bo about it. He's like, Eberflus is going to do it. He's the guy. I'm like, I don't know about you, but Eberflus has done nothing in his career. No. I would have rather given a guy like Kellen Moore the chance to coach that team. Yeah. He's the OC in the Chargers. I would have rather given Kellen Moore the chance to coach that team as a head coach than go and get Matt Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus.
I'm not an Eberflus fan.
I don't know if Bo is out on Justin Fields. I hope he's not because
I don't think
Fields
Bo is
the
out on
issue.
Justin Fields. I think Bo thinks he can get Marvin Harrison and get a left tackle in this draft. And I don't disagree with.
No, but you need to build up that defense.
I don't disagree with
need
doing. Well,
secondary
right, because
help.
you traded Roquan and you traded I traded somebody else.
You need secondary. No, you got the guy from Washington,
Vontez Sweat.
Montez Sweat, but you need secondary.
Vontez Sweat.
Montez
Sweat.
But you need secondary.
But I think
And
adding
young
Sweat,
secondary.
and you're going to extend him is a great opportunity. So I think you can get a defensive end kind of later. You have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. Also, Shaq Leonard was waived from the Texans, and the Colts picked him up.
And I hate to say
sorry,
this-
not the Colts. The Panthers picked him up.
And I hate to say this, but I don't want to see Marvin Harrison go to Chicago, but that's probably a team where he's going to go.
I want to see Marvin Harrison go to a dome team,
I don't.
like his father did with the Colts. I would love
don't.
to see him go to the Colts, but he's not going to because that wide receiver core is very good.
Well, Michael Pittman's older.
26.
Is he that young?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was
Michael
older
Pittman
than
was
that.
a rookie 3 years back.
God, I have like 95 players up. Holy cow.
So let's go through the NFL right now.
No, I don't want to go through the NFL right now. What the hell do you think's wrong with you? We go through the NFL every day. What do you mean go through the NFL?
The order.
He is 26. You're right.
Tankathon.
All right, it's right here.
So you have Bears, Arizona, New England, Bears, Washington, Giants, Tampa. I could see Tampa going after him, trading up possibly because Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans is going to re-sign with the
It's so bad.
in the Bay.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Washington, I could see. Giants definitely need wide receiver help, but they also need help on defense.
Could you imagine Scary Terry and Marvin Harrison and Sam Howell?
I would love it.
Just get him an O-line. Just get him an O-line.
You can
That's dangerous.
you can find some O-line in the offseason. I'll have to see. I'll have to.
They're going to have to do some of that defense since they got rid of that entire
We'll have
defense.
to deep dive. Obviously, that's our offseason talk. We deep dive into what these teams need, what they're losing, what they can get in free agency, and that's obviously where we hit a lot last year. So stay tuned.
Dude, he's hands down going in the top 10.
Who?
Marvin Harrison.
He's
And I'm
going in
going to
the
be
top
honest. I'm going to be
3.
honest.
He's going to be a top 3
If
pick.
Tennessee loses out, he's going to Tennessee.
No, he won't.
If
They
Tennessee
can't
loses
draft
out,
wide receivers.
A.J. Brown.
And they traded him.
They
for
drafted
scraps.
A.J. Brown. You said they can't draft wide receivers.
Sorry. They haven't drafted a wide receiver since A.J. Brown. My bad. They had Corey Davis, A.J.
Now, see,
Brown.
now he's talking out his ass.
Nikki Akid. No. Westbrook Akine.
No, now you're talking out
Traylon
your
Burks,
ass.
who has freaking asthma every time he runs the damn ball.
Again,
I don't want to see Marvin Harrison go to Tennessee.
You're talking out your ass now. All right, here we go. We're going to do this. I don't know if I can do it by position. All right, Colton Dowell. That's 7th round. That's horrible. Treylon Burks. That's horrible. Kyle Phillips. They haven't touched him, used him yet. All right, Racing McMath. Nope. Des Fitzpatrick. Nope. Okay. Now we're going back. 2020. No wide receiver. All right, A.J. Brown, 2019. Okay, that's a phenomenal draft pick. All right, no wide receiver the year before. Corey Davis, a wide receiver before that. He was good, and then all of a sudden disappeared.
He was decent. I wouldn't call him.
He was good. He was number 2.
I don't think
he was a solid number 2.
He had 1,000 yards. I don't think he had.
Tajay Sharp. I don't even know who the hell that is. All right, Dorial Green Beckham. That's a miss. Trey McBride, wide receiver. That's weird. All right, wide receiver Justin Hunter. Oh, God, they're as bad as the Ravens. Kendall Wright. Oh, my goodness. Oh, keep going back.
I'm still talking up my ass.
2010.
KJ, I told you.
Oh, my God.
A.J.
Mark
Brown
Mariani,
and Corey Davis were the only...
Kenny Britt. Not a number 1, but they drafted him in the first round.
Kenny Britt was like maybe a decent 2. Come on.
They drafted him in the first round, too. At 30th overall. Chris Davis, Joe Filani, Paul Williams. Bro, Dude, that might be the best wide receiver they've ever drafted.
A.J. Brown, yes, he was.
Courtney Roby, not bad.
A.J. Brown was the best wide receiver they ever drafted. And they traded him for scraps.
Treylon Burks.
Okay, sorry.
Leftover scraps. Not just scraps. Like
leftover
leftover
scraps that turn into excrement after digesting it is what they turned A.J. Brown into.
God, bro. Like, you're not shitting. They have not drafted a wide receiver in a
Corey
millennia.
Davis and A.J. Brown are the only decent guys they've drafted in like the last
God.
10 years.
Oh
Kenny
my
Britt, maybe.
God.
Kendall Wright had a few good years, I think, if I remember.
God, that is bad. They're good at drafting O-line.
Just not weapons. They're like the Patriots.
That's horrible.
They can draft some defense and offense, but not wide receivers.
You got me on this one, bro. You got me. Okay, so they can't draft.
They're
wide
not
receivers.
drafting Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison ain't falling that far. Marvin Harrison is either going to the Giants, Washington, or Tampa. Possibly Arizona.
You put money on that?
But Arizona needs...
You put money on that?
Put $50 on it.
Whoa, I am not that rich.
Give me 3 teams.
50?
Give me 3 teams.
Give you 3 teams?
Give me 3 teams.
I get. Well, are we playing like winner gets the money, or are we doing like loser? Like if it's none of those teams, you like it just. We need to do like a $5 cash jar.
Good. Yeah.
We can do like $5 in, winner gets all.
$5, like so I take each team like that. I think that's fine.
Yeah, we'll have to come back at this.
Maximum of 3 teams.
We're gonna do a quarter bet jar.
We should do a swear jar for the show. It'd be full in a month.
Oh my God, that'd be so. Like you tape a quarter to your bet. So like. And you put it in like a team jar, drop it. I swear they're drafting this guy. Caleb Williams is going to Arizona.
That's not
Quarter.
a bad idea for the first round this year, dude. That isn't. If we get some people and we
just listen to us just live active gambling in a basement.
We're degenerates, okay?
Probably not a good idea.
I told you.
IRS shows up at my house tomorrow. Thanks, guys. All right, that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Will be back Sunday morning live, as always, 8 a.m. on Sunday. We apologize about last week. Had a whole bunch of hiccups. We're going to be changing our days up in the future. We're going to give you guys a heads up before we do so. That being said, Wheels, give me your takeaways.
By a point, if you're taking Seattle, I do think it's going to be an under game for the over-under at 47.5, right? Or 47.
47.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be 24-17.
All right. That's it for me. I am not going to tell you what I'm going to bet because I'm going to be honest with you. I think personally that Dallas will struggle tonight, but I think Dallas is good enough to win this game. So that's what I'll put my money on Dallas, essentially. Okay. That being said, I hope you guys win your bets. Good luck out there. And please have a fun and wonderful weekend. It's going to be nice. Enjoy.
Later.